Hi everyone, we are elated to be here with the winners of the Smokelong Quarterly Award for Flash Fiction. Now we don't have everyone here because a couple of them happen to be asleep, which we don't really understand why people have to sleep, but we know the world is turning in a strange way. Don't know much about that, but we do know it's turning. And so we have several of our winners here today to launch issue 84 of Smokelong Quarterly. These are the winners of the first place, second place, third place, and 9 finalists this year. We decided on 12 entries out of 1,134 entries. Okay, so these are all wonderful writers and new writers to us. That's what we love about competitions, because competitions always introduce us to people that we might not have met otherwise. We might talk about what draws one to a competition later on, if anybody wants to think about it. If you're like a big competition person, maybe in the breakout rooms, we'll talk about why competition. That's something that I think about all the time about running competitions. Okay, so the winners, and they're all winners because my goodness, the top 12 out of 1,134 riders. These winners are Sandra Carlson Khalil, Denise Napoli Long, Brendan Tote, Latifa Ayad, Shayla Franson, Carolyn Bach, H.J. Shepard, Natalie Warther, Stephanie Yu, S.L. Sarif, Sarah Kaplan Cunningham, and Joe Withers. And they are from all over the world, and we can't wait to hear them read. We are going to start with Sandra Carlson Khalil. Sandra Carlson Khalil is from Minnesota, but has called the Middle East her home for over a decade. Her stories have appeared or are forthcoming in Camas Magazine, 5 on the 5th, and the Stone Coast Review. She studied literature at Middlebury College and received an MBA from Northwestern University. You can find her work at www.sandracarlsonkhalil, that's KHALIL.com. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Do you say Sandra or Sandra? Do you say Sandra? Sandra.
Sandra.
I forgot to ask you before. Okay,
yeah,
so Sandra.
Okay.
Okay, so I know what you're going to read for us, but tell everyone else what you're going to read for us today.
I will read Pompeii. In the car, my son says he's sad about the volcano, and I say, what volcano? And he says the one in Europe. And I say there hasn't been a volcano this week. And I change lanes and remember we need to pick up dog food. Then remember about the volcano. And look at him in the rearview mirror. The basketball uniform that pulls across his chest. The eyes that stare out from behind the fringe that he refuses to have cut. But he's not looking at the cars that flick by. He's thinking about the volcano, and I'm thinking about the damn dog food. And then he says, the one where all the people died. And there's the summer sun on my back again, hot as breath, and he is pressed against my hip. The soft orb of his cheek, swiveling this way and that, wearing the onesie with the Peter Pan collar, the one with 3 red buttons running down the front, his sticky hands looped around my neck, too heavy to hold, but still too young to know that what we're looking at through the plexiglass is a mother and son, too young to know that the blank scoops are their eyes and minds, too young to know that the dusty shapes are their arms and legs, their feet and hands, in the same position they were when the ash came down, when the world ended, when they reached out for each other, as if a mother could save a son from that. And in the rear view mirror, he is looking out, the car is still flicking by, and I say, I'm sad about the volcano too.
That breaks my heart every time I read it, and up until now when I hear it as well. that moment shared and the perspective of the rear view mirror looking through that, it does break my heart every time. I know you're at a wedding right now, but in general, what are you doing these days? What are you working on?
Well, I have the pleasure of participating in the Smoke Long workshop. So creating and cultivating a lot of new stuff lately. I wrote a story recently about the Cedars of Lebanon, which is where I am right now. Another one about the first experience going into the pyramids in Cairo. So a lot of fun stuff. So really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, and that's one thing great about this workshop that we have created. We created it in 2022. Um, uh, because I live in Germany, in Munich, where I don't have a writers group at all. Even though I've lived there for 29 years, I just can't connect to anyone there. And that's where I was going with Smoke Long Fitness, that we need that type of community that really brings people together, and we can do it wherever we are, right? Do you have a writers community there, though?
No, I don't. It sounds like I have had the same experience as you have. So
Yeah.
writing is a pretty lonely pursuit. So it feels really good to have that community to touch base with a couple times a week.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Small talk.
for me, it's 24 hours a day.
I imagine.
Yeah, for me and for Helen and for Squirrel. Squirrel is our mascot for Smoke Long Fitness. Squirrel works 24 hours a day, just like all squirrels do. Okay, good. Thank you so much, Sandra. And yeah, if you want to get back to the festivities, you can. I just didn't want you to feel stressed
To
by
be here.
Sandra.
Thank
Okay,
you.
all right. Our second reader is Denise Napoli Long. Denise Napoli Long is a writer, nurse, EMT, and mom from New York. She has previously published in Write or Die, Mom Egg Review, Intima, a journal of narrative medicine, and is forthcoming in Ars Medica. She is a student in the Johns Hopkins MA in Writing program. Welcome, Denise.
Hi,
Hi, Denise. How are you?
I'm well.
Thank you so much for your story. Um, and it's called The Maze, and we just got through reading Mike Shinajewski's collection, The Amnesiac in the Maze. And every time I think of your story, I'm thinking of The Amnesiac in the Maze. But your story is about a mother and her son. And I won't give it any more of it away, but I love it. Okay, good. So it's called The Maze. Take it away.
All right. The maze. The woman shuffled a few feet behind her toddler in the park down the street from the hospital. Only one parent was allowed in the NICU at a time, and no kids. She trudged along, blood soaking the pad between her legs, yellowish milk leaking from her breasts every time she thought of her new baby. Toddler had a small toy, a battery-operated plush hamster named Hello. Hello was an especially annoying toy that repeated everything you said, or at least a few words worth. I love you, Hello, the boy would say, and after a few seconds' delay, the hamster would answer in a slightly higher key, I love you, Hello. The boy would laugh, and the hamster would laugh, and it went on and on. The boy slept with the hamster at night, and the woman had to sneak in after bedtime to turn Hello off, lest the toy replicate the soft snoring of the toddler and wake him. The woman had never been to this park before, and the playground seemed too big for the toddler. Too many monkey bars and climbing walls. If the toddler got up there and got stuck, she'd never get him down, not in her condition. She thought of him up there crying, and her breast squirted milk, a sharp but not unpleasant sensation that made her toes curl in her shoes. She spied some kind of maze made of hedges, waist high to her but eye level for her toddler. There's only one opening, an archway also made of hedges as high as the rest, 3 feet or so. See that? Toddler followed her pointed finger to the opening, and in a flash she was through the archway. She could see his blonde head dashing around corners, running into dead ends and out again. Finally, after a few minutes, he barreled back through the entrance where he'd begun. He was missing something. Where's Hello? She called after him. Tommy, where's Hello? Where's Hello? Said the bushes. Tommy, where's... The toddler began to climb a ladder to the top of the playground. Tom, she yelled, get back here. You need to go back in there and find Hello. Tom, the hamster repeated from the hedges. Get back here. You need to. The boy was at the top of the playground, 20 feet or so in the air, looking down over a fireman's pole. She jogged to him as best she could, her deflated belly swinging in front of her, her C-section incision pulling taut. Don't go down that, she called. Where are the stairs? Come down here. Don't go down that, yelled Hello. Where are the stairs? The boy said nothing. He was an unusually silent child, she thought, except when it came to Hello. Then he didn't shut up. You have to go back in the maze, she said. You have to get Hello. Mommy can't fit. You have to go back in the maze, you... The boy stared down at her. Her cell phone buzzed. Her husband texting from the NICU. The doctor said the baby needs to nurse. Come to the lobby. I'll take Tom. Come down, she said. We need to go get Daddy. Come down, begged Hello. We need to go. No, said the boy. You get. No, said Hello. You get. He couldn't leave without Hello. It would be tantrums from now until the time the baby came home. If the baby came home. Her milk spurted a little again at the thought, that stabbing that went all through her. I get him, and then you come down and we go, okay? She said. She'd read in all the baby books that you should never say okay like that, making your action contingent on a toddler's approval, but it was a habit she had yet to break. She was still so new to this. I get him, and then you come down and... The boy nodded. She sighed with relief. Okay, she said again. I'll get Hello. Stay there. Okay, repeated Hello. He sounded scared. I'll get Hello. Stay. She hobbled back to the maze, all the while keeping an eye on the toddler. He stood stock still, one hand on the fireman's pole. He could probably manage it, she thought. He was a strong boy. But what if he couldn't? What if he let go halfway down and broke his leg? She crouched, stuck her head into the maze. Hello, she called, trying to gauge his distance from her. Hello. From somewhere in the bushes, he answered. Hello. Hello. Jesus, is that how I sound? She thought, nasally, angry, desperate. She got on her knees to go under the archway. She felt a ripping in her incision. Fuck, she yelled. Fuck, answered the hedges. The toddler watched, impassive. Hello, where are you? She called. Hello, where are you? She tried again to get in, to make herself small enough to fit. She had to go lower. She got down on her forearms. Her stomach dragged along the sandy soil. Hello, she called. Hello, where are you? Hello! Hello, where are you? Just then, her toddler yelped. He'd gone down the fireman's pole after all and was sitting stunned on his butt at the bottom, his face frozen in shock, ready to cry. Are you okay? I'm coming, she called, panic making her sweat, and she began to back out of the archway, and the incision tore at her again, at the place where they'd taken the baby out, too soon, before he was ready. They'd been trying to save the baby, to get him where they could help him. But maybe the woman wasn't cut out for saving anybody. Are you okay? I'm coming, said Hello. Stay, said the woman to the toddler. Please, please, just stay. Stay, said Hello. Please, please.
This story has so much tension, but also, of course, humor created through this toy. I remember writing a story that also used a talking toy. And I didn't realize I was going to have to read it, but then I had to read it in public. And the first thing that I remember freaking out about was my character is a woman, and my narrator is a woman, and she's speaking, in my mind, in a very Southern accent. And then there's a talking teddy bear that says, Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you. And when you started preparing to read this, did you think, oh, I've got to do the voice of Hello?
Well, this is like, as I wrote in the interview that we did, this is based on a real story of the stupid hamster that my son had. And so we tell the story of Hello all the time. In fact, my son has written a series of stories, the story of Hello in a bush, the story of Hello in a George W. Bush, the story of Hello in a pizza place or whatever. And so I do the Hello voice like quite a bit.
Ah, you're
So,
okay. You're okay. Very, very nice. Very nice. No, I was totally unprepared. I ended up impromptu having to read it at AWP one year, and as soon as I got up, I thought, "Oh, what have I done?" I have not practiced reading this, and it was so funny to hear myself. I don't know. I had to stop and say, I just have to tell everyone my narrator's a woman and in my head she speaks with a very Southern accent and there's going to be a teddy bear that says, Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you. And so, but okay.
just prepare. Yeah.
Oh, but there's so much tension created by the talking toy. It feels like you just want them to find that toy. So that's great. I love it. How do you find time to write?
Um, eh, I'm trying to get on this, get away from this notion that I need to have like 6 uninterrupted hours,
Mhm.
where I used to be like, oh, I only have 25 minutes, 30 minutes. I should do the laundry or whatever, and say, no, like that's enough time to put down a little bit of words or to like start to hash out an idea, or even to read, which so I feel like reading is kind of a part of the writing work that we do, right? To just
Definitely.
keep reading.
I
So
feel reading is a part of writing and also
yeah,
research. Not just reading fiction or reading what you want, but finding out new things and letting your curiosity guide you. I think that's also part of writing. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Denise. It was great hearing you
Thank
read.
you.
I couldn't wait to hear you read that because I was like, oh, everybody, there's a talking toy. There's a talking. Okay, so our next reader is Brendan Todt. Brendan Todt lives in Sioux City, Iowa. His poem, Because the Living May Be Worth Something Too, was selected as a Best of the Net nominee by Ekphrastic Review. He won the 2021 Juxtaprose Poetry Prize. He teaches creative writing at Morningside University. Hi, Brendan. Welcome.
Hello, thank you. It's been a lot of fun so far. Those are some great readings. It's going to be hard to follow.
But okay, so you're going to read a micro,
Yeah,
which is a part of a series of micros about a character named Sarah.
yeah.
Uh, Now, Sarah in this micro is performing a particular habit of hers. But now tell us more. Actually, let's wait until we've heard Sarah draws little mustaches. Okay, but go ahead, read this for us.
Yeah, and just to give quick context, if I could, I wrote this as I was preparing to give a talk at the university where I teach. So maybe there's something relevant about that. So yeah, Sarah. Sarah draws little mustaches on her headshots on the flyers announcing her latest poetry reading. Sometimes the department finds them, takes them down, prints off more, and hangs them. Then Sarah draws little mustaches again, or sometimes ears or horns, in her building and in all the others around campus into which the department cannot see. On the second floor of the fine art building, she has drawn breasts that sag so low they had to be put on the flyer below. Something about a singing sorority Sarah has never heard of. Big sagging breasts with nipples like penetrating eyeballs. On the first floor, near the famous conductor's office, she never dares alter them, though sometimes they too appear with mustaches or hats or various primitive phallic representations. Eventually, Sarah stops drawing, but not everyone does. So grosser and more vile the flyers grow. In addition to the phallus, more ears, more breasts, horn-rimmed glasses, oddly, a cane, another phallus, another. Eventually, Sarah delivers the reading and the flyers disappear, but below them remain the breasts and above them the ears, the corners of the angry glasses, a hand off to the side flipping the bird. In the middle, the emptiness Sarah used to occupy, missing but not exactly missed.
Lovely. Yeah, and we all loved it. What
A
what
little less serious than some of the others, though.
I don't know. I don't know. It's such a comment on what remains after everything is done and said and done. What remains? The commentary with all of
Yeah.
with everything in the middle gone. but somehow our commentary remains. Yeah, it's something to think about more and more and more. But it's a series,
Yeah.
and one of our editors liked another one
Hmm.
that he might have contacted you about that.
Yeah.
He did. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was very flattering, really exciting. Yeah.
Good. And so you teach creative writing.
Yeah.
Tell us about that at Morningside.
Yeah, so I'm in Sioux City, Iowa, so I'm the one creative writing teacher and sort of wear a bunch of different hats. And this process, this series got kind of kicked off when we were in an advanced class that I was teaching last spring, and so it's been going on for about 18 months or so. And I have a couple boys, 8 and almost 10, and so I can kind of sympathize with Denise in the 25 minutes. And so actually, these are micros, and so a lot of them now are composed on my phone in the Notes app, and so it feels a lot different when I'm composing. I can write a whole sentence in a single go on a keyboard. That's a lot different experience than I was at the pool yesterday and did a couple drafts. So yeah, that's kind of how it's going right now.
Yeah, we know writers who write on their phone, but I
I
can't.
never wanted to do it, but that's just kind of the situation I'm in, and this project kind of lends itself to it. So
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Well, congratulations on not just one publication from this, but two. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
great. Our next reader is Carolyn Bach. Carolyn Bach writes stories from micros to novels. She is the author of the forthcoming novel, The Other Beautiful People, from Regal House Publishing in the summer of 2026. Her flash fiction, Government Issued Bunnies, was published by Smokelong in 2018. A graduate of Syracuse University, she studied creative writing with Raymond Carver. In 2011, after a 20-year career as a cable television executive, she earned an MFA in fiction from the City College of New York. She is the co-president and prose editor at the Washington Writers Publishing House. She lives in Rockville, Maryland with her family. Now she's zooming in, like she sent us a recording, and we're going to listen to or watch Carolyn Bach read her story, Hair on My Chest. Welcome, Carolyn Bach.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Bach, and I'm reading my micro, Hair on My Chest. Lover I slept with, lover I should have slept with, lover it was a good thing I didn't sleep with. None of you know me except in fractions, fragments, scraps. Lover, reach for the breasts, and that's when it starts. I'm thinking of those matching plaid chairs, burnt orange couch, laundry trailing every room, clean laundry. We were always running the washing machine, but never folding. And the onions, Pop loved onions, made hair grow on your chest. Even though at 9 or 10, I pointed out I didn't want hair, I wanted breasts. Spanish onions towered on pan-fried steaks because it was Friday. If it was a good week for Pop, the salesman, it was well-done steaks for the 5 of us. Lover, I've never left that house. Part of me is doing laundry, tearing at a head of iceberg lettuce, slicing a beefsteak tomato. All the time, my eyes watering from the onions or Pop stories about the last sale or the best sale. He had no one to tell but me. The onions topple, the steaks pop grease. I'd have a job cleaning it all. Lover, you say focus on this, on us, as if I can divide past selves from present ones. Lover, take these lonely breaths already. Make me stop saying how I want the cheapest cut of steak. A Friday night with Pop at the stove, storytelling and calling out, supper's ready. Lover, make me stop thinking I want hair on my chest.
Oh, I love that. It's such a layered micro, just toward the longish side of micro, but such a layered story. And you can read that again on Monday when the issue comes out. So thank you to the first four readers. And we are going to our breakout rooms now to awkwardly mingle as we do. And welcome back, everybody. We are celebrating the winners of the Smoke On Quarterly Award for Flash Fiction, or as we affectionately call the Smoky. This year we have 12 winners, so first, second, and third, and 9 finalists, but they are all winners because this is the top 12 of 1,134 entries in the Smoky. We had judges from all over the world, some of whom are here in the Zoom today, and thank you so much for all of the reading you did. It gets very, very stressful after the day after the deadline. I think we had 300 entries on the last day. So it gets very, very stressful the last day because we have a short turnaround for the long list. Okay, so our next reader has sent us a recording because she's right now at a wedding. And this reader is H.J. Shepard. H.J. Shepard's work has appeared in Flash Fiction International, published by W.W. Norton, as well as Fiction Southeast and Spout Press. She studied writing at Sarah Lawrence College and received graduate degrees from the National University of Ireland and Fordham University, where she was a teaching fellow. She has conducted research in public institutions across the U.S. and Ireland and has worked as a script reader for the public and the Druid Theatre. As an archival researcher and producer, H.J. has collaborated with many documentary filmmakers over the years, including Nancy Buirsky, Brett Story, Joe Brewster, and Michelle Stevenson. She is currently working on a feature screenplay and a collection of flash fiction. So welcome.
Hello everyone, I'm H.J. Shepard. I'm so sorry that I can't be there with you live this evening. I'm currently at a wedding, but I am thrilled to be a part of issue 84 of Smoke Long Quarterly, and I would like to thank all the judges and editors for the tremendous amount of reading and effort they put into this, and I would like to congratulate the 3 winners as well. I am honored to be in your company, and I really look forward to reading your work. This is my piece, Ambrosia. I always looked forward to it at funerals. Ambrosia. Usually green or red jello that had been pulverized and mixed with Cool Whip, then studded with mini marshmallows and halved grapes. Having grapes, that's something to do. And it was always served in a fluted cut-glass punch bowl and brought by some distant cousin with a very Finnish last name and a charming family story that I can't remember now. Perhaps she was older than her aunt. I think that was it. I always wished I came from that thread of the family who had the Finnish last name and were honestly friendly and seemed to have normal houses with normal carpets and were allowed to make and eat things like ambrosia. In my little black-buckled shoes and black velvet dress with the felted red roses, I read a message from my father. He had given it to me to read because he and I were great friends and because he could not be there. Why he couldn't be there, I don't remember. It seems now like an event one should not miss. But I do remember that everyone was very touched by what he wrote and by my reading it, and that his words were about how nice she was, that she always observed how nice things were. Oh, how nice. And it was true. And while I read it, I thought for some reason about how still she always was when we shared a bed together, that I had never known someone to just lie down on her side with her hair still pinned up and simply fall asleep. never twitched or turned or scratched, just lay down and went to sleep and didn't move till the morning. I thought there was something impressive but alarming about it. I thought about all of that while reading the message from my father, which was truly genuine. When I finished reading, I went and sat on the stairs with all the other kids, because the room was packed, and my favorite cousin turned to me in his gray suit, which was too short for him, and rubbed his eyes and told me he loved me. That filled my heart to the brim, though soon also made me anxious, because I thought I should not be feeling anything like joy at the moment. My cousin was my uncle's boy, and my uncle had asked his sisters if he could please not be the one to go last, but they put him last anyway, and I recall feeling like that was inconsiderate of them, and so I felt a pain for him while he spoke. His wife Liz, who half the family called Liz and the other half called Betsy, finished the service with a hymn, and someone the family had hired from the church played the harp behind her. I remember thinking that the girl was very pretty and definitely not related to us, an entirely different face than the rest of us had. When it was over, we went to the church basement, which smelled a lot like some corner of my grandfather's house. Pipe tobacco and spilled motor oil and candied peanuts. Wet canvas. The food was laid out. There was the bowl of ambrosia. And just as I remember trying to contain my joy that my cousin had told me he loved me, I remember thinking I should not be too excited about the ambrosia. Because a major severing had just taken place, an irreversible disappearance that made me feel so sick I couldn't stop smiling, which hurt my brother's feelings. "Why are you smiling?" he kept asking, with his little white face so tender and true. "Stop smiling." But the shape of my mother, with her black stockings and dark eyes, drinking coffee alone against the concrete wall across the room, frightened me so much that I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop smiling. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a good rest of the evening, and I look forward to reading your work.
Be sure to read the interview with H.J. Shepard about the writing of this and why writing about this memory. And I think it's such a simple, in the interview, it's such a simple remark. I just wanted to remember that event as clearly as possible. And that's a good approach. Just putting it down on paper the way it happened. And H.J. Shepard just happens to be an incredible writer. So that those two things together really work well. Okay. Our next reader is Latifa Ayad. Latifa Ayad is a Libyan-American writer who was born and raised in Sarasota, Florida. She earned her MFA at Florida State and is currently seeking a PhD at Western Michigan University. Ayad is a MacDowell Fellow. Her novel in progress, The Realm Unknown, was a runner-up for the James Jones First Novel Fellowship. For her complete published work, please visit Latifa Ayad, that's AYAD.com. Hi, Latifa. We got to talk a little bit in the breakout room. You're going to read Octopus Heart for us, and I can't wait to hear it. Take it away.
All right, this is Octopus Heart. I wake up on the 1st of January with an octopus in my chest. I do not know if this date is significant. I also do not know it is an octopus, but of course it is. If you have seen the way an octopus fills a jar like it is liquid, if you have seen how an octopus suckers to the lid of that jar and unscrews it, I imagine her a black, oily thing. That morning I wake up and the octopus is squeezing my heart. She is filling the cavity of my chest. She is pushing on my stomach and it roils and roils. I cannot eat. When I do, it is straight to the bathroom, my bowels loose, full of seawater. I am seasick. I call my psychiatrist, for want of an acquaintance with a marine biologist. I have had anxiety all my life, but I've never had an octopus in my chest. The psychiatrist nurse takes my call and promises to relay my message. She asks if I am suicidal, and I say no. The psychiatrist himself does not return my call. I feel always like a secondary concern with the psychiatrist, even when I am in his chair. But the nurse tells me he has upped the dose of my antidepressant and has prescribed something to help me sleep. Sequel? Quisac? Anyway, something that sounds like queasy or sea. To make the octopus relax, I rub my chest. I drink hot tea. Occasionally, she loosens her grip, but not her hold. I call my parents and do not mention the octopus. I say, it's like something is squeezing and squeezing my heart, and I have to repeat it many times. My voice is a sharp whine, my breath hitching sobs. My dad tells me to pray, which I rarely do outside Ramadan. I take out my rug and swaddle my head in a soft cotton hijab. It is a comfort, but not a solution. My mom offers to fly me home, says I must need sun, need vitamin D. 3 days home, then I will be healed and can return to my students and my classes. This is what we get, my mom says, for sending a Florida girl to grad school in the Arctic North, by which she means the Midwest. When I land back home, I cry. I take my Queasy medicine and sleep a little. When I wake in the morning, I try to eat the biscuits my mom makes, and I cry. Did something happen? No, nothing happened. I just woke up like this one day with the octopus in my chest. We walk and walk and walk. If I keep moving, the pain is less. It is agony to lie down and feel that any moment my heart will burst. My dad is afraid. He hugs me to him and sings Quran and taps the top of my head. He gives me a pouch to wear around my neck, in which he has put surahs that he has written down for me, including Ayat al-Kursi. It will protect you from evil, he says. It is clear my dad thinks I am possessed by a jinn. The jinn can fill any space, can pour their smokeless flames to the brim of any body. My dad has come closest to the truth. On a beach walk with my mom, I throw myself into the Gulf. The sun is out, but the January water is freezing. My blood vessels constrict and adrenaline zips through me, and this feels nice, but the octopus does not want what I want, which is to sense her return to the salt water and suction her way up my throat and out to sea. We spend the hours before my evening flight at Moat Marine, where the girl I was a lifetime ago had plunged her arm into the touch and feel tank to stroke the shells of horseshoe crabs. A marine biologist is on the catwalk throwing lettuce to the manatees. I drift over to the octopus's tank. It is empty. Taped to the front, a laminated card with a clip art stethoscope that reads, "Out for a checkup." The next morning, I stare at the gray sky sitting low over the brutalist buildings of my campus, the bare trees rigid, hunched against the wind, and I know I have missed my chance. There is nothing fluid here except the warm blood swishing in my body. I check myself into the ER. I am asked over and over by each nurse I speak to, "Are you suicidal?" I gaze at the stomach pump strapped to the wall. I have heard there is no pain like it, but I would swallow every pill in my cabinet if it meant they would thread the tube down my throat and suction the octopus out of me. The doctor who takes my case speaks softly, says, "People come in like this all the time." I want to tell her no, they don't. But the octopus unfurls an arm and sends it up my throat and around my windpipe, squeezing so that all that comes out is a rasping exhale. "I'll test your thyroid, but usually the answer is therapy. Do you have a therapist?" I nod. I imagine sitting on the stiff pleather couch, my therapist speaking not to me, but to the octopus, calming, coaxing. You are safe here. This is a safe space. You can come out whenever you're ready. The doctor asks, "Are you suicidal?" And I shake my head, no. I only want the octopus out of my chest. Give me a C-section, I will birth this thing. Open heart surgery, whatever will work. I want to cut my chest open, scalpel sharp and painless, split my sternum, pull back my ribs, peel each sucker from my muscle and bone for this body to be my own. Thank you.
Wonderful. And of course, we loved it. And you got to laugh. I love that laugh. Margot, I hope we keep that laugh in there. Don't cut it out, because it was the perfect laugh there of the Midwest. So you're in the Midwest right now, right?
I am. Yes, in
Okay.
Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it got such a laugh, because of course it's not the Arctic. But if you are from Florida, you might think it is. But yeah, so funny line. You know that it's funny now. Okay, so what are you doing your PhD on?
Fiction, creative writing.
Okay, so your doctoral, so your dissertation will be
Probably a novel, maybe a short story collection.
okay. So
Yeah.
you haven't decided that much yet.
Yeah, I have exams next year, so right now I'm just reading like a maniac. And it's stressing a lot.
Yeah, I remember those days in graduate school when I had 4 Victorian novels to read, 3 plays, and a book of critical theory. Yeah, it starts. Oh, is that where the idea of the octopus came from?
I can't say.
You, you feel like you have an octopus, like because you have all of those books to read. Yeah, okay. All right, great. Thank you so much, Latifa. Wonderful story. Okay. Our last reader, and then we're going to do breakout rooms, and then we're going to come back and give away a lot of stuff to the participants of Smoke Long Summer and Smoke Long Fitness and beyond. Our last reader is Shayla Franson. Shayla Franson earned her MFA in fiction in Utah. She previously earned an MA in English in New York City. Her writing can be found in New England Review, Iron Horse Literary Review, Under the Sun, Blood Orange Review, Literary Mama, Exposition Review, and others. In 2023, she was nominated for Best of the Net and Best Small Fiction. She was awarded first place in both the 2023 Plentitudes Prize in Fiction and the Blue Earth Review Dog Days Flash Fiction Contest. She is probably somewhere reading on her Kindle or buying a pair of shoes, which she does not need, except that I think right now she's with us.
Yes, it's true. Hello.
Hi, Sheila. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you? These readers have been amazing. I feel so lucky to be among such amazing company.
Yeah, I mean, because
So
we have read the stories. So probably a few of the judges have probably read each story maybe 5 or 6 times, and I've read each story probably 10 or 12 times because of various stages of yeah. And it is a wonderful experience when you keep reading a story and you keep saying, I like this, because that's what has to happen in flash fiction, because you have to keep coming back to it and thinking, yeah, it holds up. All right, it holds up. Now you're going to read a story called Grocery Store Mama.
yes.
Take it away.
Grocery store mama. I opened a grocery store, even though Nana told me I might as well stuff my money into the garbage disposal and let the blades wear the cash into bits the way tigers maul the humans who had raised them since birth. You can keep a pet tiger your whole life and it'll still eat you, Nana said, long before it's starving. It was only Nana and me growing up. Nana liked tigers, and somehow word had gone out about it, which meant her birthday gifts were always tiger-themed. Tiger oven mitts and little ceramic tigers swiping at the air and stuffed tigers hanging off the rearview mirror in her car. But I needed something to do and people needed food to eat, so a grocery store seemed obvious. The building itself was dusty and dangerous and covered in graffitied words like obnoxious. But it had been a grocery store before going out of business in the 90s, so the bones were good. Empty shelving units and the skeleton of a bakery in a glass box, which was probably where lobsters had waved at customers and waited to die. I painted the walls white and swept up the broken glass and trapped the rats and cleared out the people who lived on the pipe and slept on 20-year-old mattresses on the second floor. If you really want those people to stay away, you should buy a pet tiger, Nana said. I said, that's just as illegal as it was the last time you suggested it. And didn't you say pet tigers eat their owners? She said, tigers are a sign of good luck. And I said, oh, well, in that case, I'll get 7 of them. Nana said, name the store Tiger Lily. And I looked at her. I think it would be nice, she said. And she was wearing slippers that had a plush tiger head at the point of each foot. The first shipments of food arrived glistening in the sun like empty wine bottles washed up on a beach. The men who made the deliveries would walk into the store and look around and check the address on their clipboard. This is Tiger Lily food? They would ask, and I'd say, don't worry about the rats, because even though they came back, they didn't bite. The food was beautiful, apples the color of roses, and mustard the color of sunflowers, and cake mixes like jewels in a treasure chest, and bread loaves as fluffy as down pillows. At night, I would walk the shelves and run my hand along each item with no skips. I mean, I'd touch every single box of Jell-O and cereal, and I would hold the cauliflowers and stroke them a bit, like they had hair. On opening day, people walked in and stopped like they'd bumped into an invisible wall, and they'd look around and they'd look at me, and I'd say, all shelves will be filled eventually, and the heat's supposed to kick in next week. Nana was the cashier, and when people paid, she would look them in the eye like she was trying to tell them something without words. Most of the customers were friends of Nana's, which I guess makes sense because old people like to grocery shop. One time, Nana's best friend, Gloria, bought bananas and 2 cans of tomato soup, and Nana told me she wanted to walk Gloria to her car. But once they got there, I saw Nana give Gloria her money back. When Nana came back in, I said, we need to have a serious conversation because when you do things like that, you're losing us money. And Nana said she wouldn't do it again. Money did become an issue, though, because soon I could only afford day-old bread and warped produce, and milk might as well have been liquid gold. And at night, I'd stack the cans upside down so nobody would see the month-old expiration dates. One day I heard commotion at the front of the store, and I thought somebody was stealing shopping carts again, but it was a woman with like 100 kids. And then I realized I knew her. She smiled at me. I heard you opened this place, she said. I wanted to come say hi. She didn't actually have 100 kids, but she had 3. And I saw she was pregnant again. And she said, how's Adam? And I said, we're divorced. And she made a face of distress or maybe pity. And I said, so these are your kids? And when she said yes, I couldn't think of anything to say about them. So I said, we have a sale on condiments today. She said, we should get milkshakes like we did every day after school in 7th grade. She said, remember we made a pact to stay friends forever? She said, I was so sorry to hear about Lily. I tried to get a hold of you. She took a step forward and said, I'm so sorry. The overhead lights flickered and Nana leaned forward in her chair. And I said, all my money's tied up in the store, so I can't get milkshakes. And then I turned around and walked into the room that said manager on it. That night, I turned off the lights an hour early to save electricity. And I told Nana to go home. And she waited. And I said, go home. She took out her key ring and twisted at it until the enamel tiger keychain slid off and she propped it up against the cash register. After Nana left, I went to the produce section and took the old fruit in my hands one by one and pressed into their soft brown spots. And I begged them to last a little bit longer. I'd do anything if they would please stay alive just 2 days more or even just 1. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That is a devastating story. You take us on a journey that's really the relationship between these 2 people and trying so hard to do something that works. I love that story. I would go wherever that story told me to go.
Thank you so much.
What are you up to these days?
Yeah, I was just commiserating in the little breakout room. I love to write very short fiction. So I'm writing short stories, but I also like to write novels, short and long. So right now I'm working with a literary agent on edits on a novel, and it's a big, long project. It's mostly satisfying, but I'm on like the 17th draft and I'm just like trying to push forward. So that's what I'm working on, is this novel.
Okay, well, I have one question for you, because the way you read Grocery Store Mama is very confident, a confident reading in that the listener has the feeling you know exactly where the line is going. This is a very solid piece of narrative. So. Do you take that same feeling into novel writing that because your reading of the story is like boom, 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 boom. Is that the same pace and feeling that you have in novel writing?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I mean, with this story, it is interesting because I read it sort of with these breaks, but perhaps when you read it, you'll notice it's kind of these run-on sentences a lot that I was kind of playing around with. Like, there's very little commas, there's very little, right? It's just sort of, it keeps that propulsive sort of momentum, right? I didn't exactly read it that way. So my novel reads perhaps like a little more traditional in that there's more commas and more punctuation and things like that. But it is about, my novel is about these women at this very sort of proper etiquette school, right? And they sort of, over the course of the novel, bump up against patriarchy, and they're trying to solve this mystery. It takes place in the 1950s. So perhaps I'm writing confidently in that because it feels like it mirrors some of my own experience as a woman living in the world, right? Sort of navigating it and bumping up against barriers or people telling me what I can or can't do or whatever, right? So perhaps in that sense, there is some confidence there. Sure.
Okay, cool. All right. We're going to our second and last breakout room to awkwardly mingle. And when we come back, we are going to give away 10 prizes in our big ass raffle. And ASS stands for Smoke Long Summer. So, okay, yeah. So, but that's been our abbreviation for a Smoke Long Summer for quite a long time. So, okay, we just called it. All right. Welcome back, everyone. We're giving away some stuff now. Now, this stuff we're giving away is for Smoke Long fitness participants, Smoke Long Summer participants, and we are giving away over $2,000 worth of stuff. And for this, we're giving away 10 prizes tonight. And the first today, the first two that we're giving off is 25% off anything in the shop. It's a coupon code for 25% off anything in the shop, which if you buy something huge, that's a lot of money. All right. So, Helen, give me a number between 3 and 139.
Okay, I'm just using randomnumber.org now. Okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
106.
106. Here we go. 106 is Nathan Willis. Actually, I actually saw Nathan Willis. Nathan, are you here? I actually saw your name pop up. Are you still here? Okay, well, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be here to win anything here because we thought it would be weird to make people get up in the middle of the night all over the world to be here at a specific time. But Nathan Willis will get a coupon code for 25% off anything in the shop. And give me another number, Helen, between 3 and 139.
28.
28.
I don't think this is working, but yeah.
It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. 28 is Candace Webb. Candace Webb. I saw Candace.
I'm here. I just put myself on screen.
Yeah, I thought I
Awesome.
just spoke to you. Yeah, 25% off anything in the shop. So it's like you
That's
don't
awesome.
have to use it, but it's like in case you're wondering, in case
Yeah.
you decide to buy something in the shop, you can get 25% off, and I'm going to send that
That sounds
discount.
great.
Right, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And the next 3 prizes are free senior editor feedback from 3 editors. And so, Helen, give me a number between 3 and 139. Video guy loves this. He's just like, ooh, I love it.
First one's 81.
81. 81 is Laura Shapiro. I don't think I saw Laura here. Okay, but 3 eds. Okay, so give me another number between 3 and 139. We'll get
It's 8.
wow. 8. That person's been a member here for quite a long time, and that is well, Amy Allen. Oh, wait a minute. These are alphabetical now. Amy Allen. No relation that we know of. I've never asked Amy if she's related to the Allens. Okay, and give me another number between 3 and 139.
119.
Okay. And that is Rosalind Lynch. I know she's not here because I haven't seen her, and I will send that to her. Okay, good. The next one is 1 free copy of Flash Fiction America. And this is, we're switching to a number between 156 and 222. We have a lot of participants. So 156 and 222.
That's 191.
191 is Megan Arthur. I haven't seen Megan. Okay, and so I will tell her that she's won the Flash Fiction America. Now, the next one is for any book in the book fair. So we're running a virtual book fair right now, and this one is for anyone, any book that you decide you want. You just let us know what it is. We'll order it for you and send it to you. And this is between numbers between 156 and 222.
It's 222.
222.
Yeah.
Well, that's Eric Twa. I know. I'm so I haven't seen Eric. Are you here? Okay, I didn't think so. One book, and the next one is a pack of 3 books from a publisher. And so you need to look through the virtual book fair and look for a publisher where you can get 3 books from, and we will get that to you. And again, a number between, well, actually, can you put in both numbers 3 through 139 and 156 through 122? Or is that very complicated?
I'll just do 3 to 222, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's everyone, isn't it? Yeah, okay. That's 140.
Lovely. 140. And that is Travis Flack. Travis, are you here? A fellow Tennessean. We're sending him 3 books. Okay, and our last one is only for 156 through 222 because it is 2 months of Smoke Long. This is our Try Smoke Long Fitness offer, and you would get 2 free months of Smoke Long. And so this is the 156 through 222.
It's 157.
Oh, that's right.
157. Yeah.
That's Jacqueline Goyette. Jacqueline, are you here? Okay. I think I saw Jacqueline Goyette. Okay, and one more.
213.
213. Ray Downs. Did we see Ray Downs? I thought I saw a Ray come in, but nope. Okay. Then that is the 10 prizes. And yeah. So thank you once again to our readers who were able to read live, and the readers who sent something in. Unfortunately, we were not able to play Natalie Warther's because her story, American Monster, there was a technical problem with the video, and we noticed that only an hour before when we were testing to see if the videos work. And so we will contact Natalie and ask her if she can send another. There was a delay and we could not get the video to play right. And Sarah Kaplan Cunningham was here. She was not able to read because she's not feeling well, but she was in the audience, and so we want to congratulate Sarah on her story. And SL Sarif and Stephanie Yu and Joe Withers were not able to read because of, they were either sleeping or on a plane or both. Okay, but you can read all of their work on Monday. You were the lucky people who were able to hear their work a few days before they come out. This video will also be available on YouTube. You can rewatch it. We want to congratulate everyone and thank you to everyone who entered the competition. And I will be talking about competitions and entering competitions and why have a competition in my letter from the editor, because it's something I think about all the time. And I think most journals who run competitions have to think about why. And so I'll be talking about that. And so to everyone here who's in our workshop, Smoke Long Fitness or a Smoke Long Summer, I'll see you in the workshop. Thank you to the readers and everyone. I'll see you in the workshop, and don't forget Monday, this issue is coming out. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, all. Thank you.
Bye.